The price of every choice. Life often feels like a collection of bargains and gifts. We gravitate toward free trials, unlimited data plans, and the promise of success without sacrifice. Yet economics teaches us a simple truth. There ain't no such thing as a free lunch. Every decision, opportunity, or success carries an unseen price tag. We may not pay with money, but we pay with time, energy, attention, mental health, or relationships. Understanding these hidden costs can be liberating because it helps us make intentional choices instead of chasing free rewards and becoming trapped. To explore this idea, we'll journey through stories and research on opportunity costs, the hidden price of success, the toll of free digital services, and the psychological traps of sunk costs and instant gratification. We'll finish with strategies for intentional living and growth. This audiobook isn't about discouraging ambition. It's about recognizing the price of what you want and consciously deciding whether you're willing to pay it. When you understand that nothing is free, you reclaim agency over your life. Chapter 1. The Economics of Life. Opportunity Costs and Trade-offs. Economists use the concept of opportunity cost to remind us that when we choose one option, we sacrifice the value of the next best alternative. It's the unseen price of every choice. Psychologists observe that we often neglect these costs. We focus on what we gain without considering what we give up. For example, working late for extra income means sacrificing time with family, rest, or hobbies. Delegating a task at work may cost money but saves time and mental bandwidth. Opportunity cost neglect can lead to poor decisions. Research shows that when people are reminded of alternatives, they make more thoughtful choices and sometimes choose to save their resources. The phrase, "there ain't no such thing as a free lunch," Sandeep, drives this home. Even so-called free goods come with hidden costs. Somebody pays, or you pay in other ways. 19th century saloons offering free salty lunches did so to sell more beer. Modern, free apps collect our data, our attention, and our sleep. Decisions always require trade-offs, and ignoring them can create winners and losers. Recognizing trade-offs is not pessimistic, it's realistic. It enables you to decide which cost you're willing to pay. Practical takeaway. When you say yes to something, ask yourself what you're saying no to. Each yes implicitly denies time, energy, or resources to something else. Value time as much as money. Spending money to save time can increase life satisfaction. Remind yourself of alternatives. Simply thinking about the next best use of your time or money can reduce impulsive decisions. Chapter 2. Hidden Costs of Success. Success stories often glorify the outcome, the book deal, the IPO, the Olympic medal, without acknowledging the sacrifices required to get there. A writer might dream of a best-selling novel without realizing it could bring privacy invasion, trolls, and pressure to outperform their last work. An entrepreneur swapping one boss for 100 customers can experience constant uncertainty, sleepless nights, and responsibility for marketing, customer service, and cash flow. Successful actors spend months away from family and live under the microscope of public scrutiny. In a candid essay, a professional reflected on early career success that demanded late nights, weekends, and constant hustle. They sacrificed friendships and health for recognition, only to realize later that those sacrifices weren't always worth it. They described feeling less fulfilled as responsibilities grew. Each promotion pulled them further from what once made them happy. Another writer in Psychology Today described having a panic attack on a plane because the drive for productivity had pushed them past their limits. Ambition often manifests as anxiety, burnout, and panic when success is defined solely by output. Entrepreneurs face similar tolls. Starting a company can mean financial pressure, work, life imbalance, uncertainty, and social expectations, all contributing to anxiety, depression, and burnout. Young athletes who specialize early may sacrifice normal childhood experiences and risk identity foreclosure. Their entire identity becomes their sport, which leads to mental health struggles upon retirement. Even after achieving their dreams, they may face emotional distress because they hadn't developed other parts of themselves. Success doesn't just have an entrance fee, it has ongoing maintenance costs. A best-selling author must contend with constant demands, an Olympic athlete must train tirelessly to stay at the top, and entrepreneurs may face perpetual risk and stress. There are two prices of success: the cost to achieve it and the cost to maintain it. Neither is inherently good or bad, but awareness helps you decide which price you're willing to pay. Practical takeaway. Examine your definition of success. Is it aligned with your values, or is it influenced by external expectations? Are you sacrificing health or relationships to achieve it? Recognize both costs. Consider not only the hard work to reach a goal, but also the ongoing responsibilities and pressures that follow. Diversify your identity. Athletes and professionals who cultivate interests and relationships outside their main pursuit have better mental health when their primary role changes or ends. Chapter 3. Work-life balance and mental health. Our culture equates busyness with worth, yet rest is productive. In an article on sustainable success, psychologists note that ambition often leads to anxiety and even panic attacks because people constantly move the goalposts. They advise 3 keys for success that do not sacrifice mental health. Celebrate small wins instead of perpetually chasing future goals. Prioritize deliberate rest as essential for productivity, and practice knowing when enough is enough. Work-life balance isn't just a buzzword. It impacts productivity, life satisfaction, relationships, and health. Historical fights for shorter work weeks arose because endless work left people too tired for home life. The pandemic highlighted how poor balance leads to burnout, fueling the Great Resignation as people quit jobs to prioritize well-being. When work becomes life, there's little room for anything else. Maintaining balance means setting boundaries, asking for flexibility, and recognizing that free time isn't wasted time. Learning to say no is crucial. Social pressure and the fear of being unhelpful make us say yes even when we should decline. Yet always saying yes leads to burnout and a loss of autonomy. Each time you say yes, you implicitly say no to something else. Experts recommend a simple cost-benefit framework. Weigh the cost of saying yes against the benefit to others and decide accordingly. You can politely decline by thanking the person and explaining you don't have the capacity right now. Practical takeaway. Schedule rest and treat it as sacred. Deliberate rest enhances creativity and performance. Celebrate small victories. Recognizing progress prevents the endless race toward bigger goals. Say no with respect. A clear no frees you to commit to priorities and protects your mental health. Chapter 4. When free costs more. Digital distractions and instant gratification. Many services we consider free, social media, streaming platforms, gaming apps, are part of a zero-price economy. Companies offer products at no monetary cost in exchange for our data and attention. Researchers at Linköping University discovered that the hidden costs of free apps include procrastination, sleep deprivation, reduced focus, and less time for physical connections, hobbies, and exercise. Users often value privacy and transparency highly and would prefer one-time purchases over free services that collect data. Apps are designed to be addictive, and policymakers are urged to require warnings about these hidden costs. The dopamine rush from instant gratification can be addictive. As a blog on instant gratification points out, quick rewards feel satisfying, but they drain well-being and finances. Impulse shopping, binge-watching, or endless scrolling give short-term pleasure but create debt, stress, and regret. The emotional toll includes guilt and a diminished ability to feel satisfied with slower, meaningful progress. Productivity suffers because we choose easy distractions over challenging tasks. Psychologists call the tendency to choose smaller, immediate rewards over larger future rewards delay discounting. A study examining stress and mental health found that experiencing stress increases impulsivity, leading people to prefer immediate gratification even when waiting would yield a higher reward. Stress about finances, workload, or life can thus undermine long-term goals. Practical takeaway. Be mindful of free digital services. Consider paying for ad-free, privacy-respecting versions or setting time limits to reduce procrastination. Create delays before spending. Wait 24 hours before making a purchase. This pause helps determine whether it's truly necessary. Manage stress. Stress reduction strategies, exercise, mindfulness, support networks, can help reduce impulsivity and improve long-term decision-making. Chapter 5. Psychological Traps. Sunk Costs, delayed gratification, and self-control. Sometimes we continue down a path not because it makes sense now, but because we've already invested money, time, or emotional energy. Behavioral scientists call this the sunk cost fallacy. The Decision Lab explains that we tend to stick with investments even when evidence shows it's better to leave. Examples include going to a concert despite sickness because the ticket was purchased, staying in unfulfilling relationships because of time invested, and clinging to careers that no longer suit us due to the effort and education already spent. In reality, sunk costs cannot be recovered, so decisions should be based on future benefits and costs. Another psychological principle is delayed gratification. The famous Stanford marshmallow experiments offered children one treat immediately or two treats if they waited. Early studies suggested that children who could wait tended to have better life outcomes, though later research found that family background and environment also shape results. The key takeaway is that the ability to wait and manage attention plays a role in success. Studies show that children delayed gratification better when the treats were out of sight. Self-control isn't just a personality trait, it's influenced by environment. Stress complicates self-control. In the university study mentioned earlier, participants under stress, induced by discordant music, displayed higher impulsivity and preferred immediate rewards. Recognizing these dynamics helps you design environments that support self-control. For instance, keep distractions out of sight, set up automatic savings, and reduce stress where possible. Practical takeaway: ignore sunk costs. When facing a decision, focus on future costs and benefits rather than past investments. Set up your environment for success. Hide tempting distractions or make desirable behaviors more visible. Practice patience. Small delays in gratification can rewire your reward system and build self-control. Chapter 6. Growth through intentional effort. The myth of 10,000 hours. A common myth suggests that 10,000 hours of practice guarantees mastery. Research shows this isn't true. Experience alone doesn't lead to mastery. How you practice matters. A Psychology Today article debunks the 10,000 hour rule, explaining that the number is an average drawn from several studies and is not magic. Instead, deliberate practice, focused goals, feedback, targeted effort, and self-review drives improvement. Purposeful practice can substitute for expert feedback by using self-evaluation, recordings, or reflective notes to guide progress. The article describes a climber who practiced for decades but plateaued until he adopted deliberate practice. With a coach's feedback and targeted exercises, he broke through his plateau and achieved higher levels. The lesson is that blindly logging hours is costly. You may invest significant time without improvement. The hidden cost of unstructured practice is stagnation and frustration. Quality, intentional effort, and reflection are essential. Moreover, the article notes that natural ability, passion, support from others, and self-care contribute to mastery. Without a growth mindset and self-care, long hours can lead to burnout instead of progress. Practical takeaway: prioritize quality over quantity. Set clear goals. Seek feedback and track progress. Use purposeful practice. In the absence of a coach, record yourself or reflect on your work to identify improvements. Balance practice with rest. Mastery requires recovery and self-care. Conclusion: embrace the costs you choose. Throughout this audiobook, we've seen that nothing is truly free. Opportunity costs, hidden sacrifices, and trade-offs shape every aspect of life, from economic choices to personal success, digital habits, and self-improvement. Recognizing costs doesn't mean avoiding effort. It means choosing your sacrifices wisely. When you know the price of your decisions, you reclaim the power to decide whether the reward is worth it. Take responsibility for your choices, and be intentional about where you invest your time, attention, and heart. Success will still require effort and compromise, but you can align those sacrifices with what truly matters to you. Celebrate small wins, rest deliberately, and know when to say no. Accept that growth demands patience, feedback, and targeted practice rather than blind hours. Maintain balance by valuing your relationships and mental health alongside your ambitions. And remember that every free app, every quick reward, and every yes has a cost, often hidden but always real. Stay connected. Thank you for listening to Nothing is Free. If you found value in this audio journey, consider subscribing to our YouTube channel. We share more stories, research, and tools for intentional living. By subscribing, you support our work and join a community committed to conscious growth. Remember, the time you invest in yourself is never wasted. So choose wisely, embrace the costs that align with your values, and keep growing.